Welcome back to Mad Life. Well, today we've got David over here and we're going to be doing his lowering on his 350. So let's get to it. Hit the subscribe button now. Don't forget to check out our back. Welcome back to the Utility Garage. Today we're going to Okay, so we're just going to get back jacked up a little bit and then we're going to loosen off the wheel nuts. Right, back up with the jack a bit further, then we're going to get a couple of axle stands underneath it to make sure everything's safe. Off with these wheels. Now it's down on the stands, we're all happy with this. So we're removing this spring. All we need to do is undo this one bolt here. So we undo this, spring bucket will then come down, change the spring out. What I will do is put a little jack underneath here to hold this up while I undo it and let it down gently. Right, let's carry on. The suspension's staying there. Now the spring cup drops. Okay, so lower down this spring cup and then pull this spring out. You can see how it pushes down and it's loose, and then pull the old spring out. Watch this old rubber go flying out in a second. Obviously I picked that back up and that's reused. Okay, so push the new spring in place, get it all set where it should be. Now get this jack back underneath to push it back into where it is and then put the bolt back through. Just see I'm lining it up here. There we go, it's just back in line. Stick the bolt through, start doing things back up again. That's one side complete. Obviously the other side's exactly the same, we're not going to show that, there's no need. Okay, so David's just going to stick on his Works deep dish wheels back on his car now. That's all bolted on, then we'll drop it back down and we'll start working on the front end. Obviously out come the axle stands, make sure everything's done properly, then obviously we'll tighten those wheel nuts up when there's pressure back on it. There we go. Just unbolted the 4 bolts here, we're going to remove the strut bar. There we go, undoing that. So now we need to be undoing the 3 main bolts that hold the strut and then the one underneath. Right, we'll carry on. Okay, so let me take you through. The next part is just undoing this bolt here, and then the whole strut will be loose. Just make sure that you obviously take off the brake line there and the one on the back. Right, let's get on with it. So I've had to disconnect the anti-roll bar because it was holding it from pushing down. I've undone the bolt for the actual bottom of the leg itself, pushed down and then pulled the leg out. And all I've got to do is undo the one bolt that I left up here so it would hold it in place, and then it's out. Okay, we're now just using the spring compressors to compress the spring down so we can then loosen off the top mount and make it safe to be removed. So you put a spring compressor on both sides of the spring, pretty level, clip these in and then start doing them up. Obviously you want to do them up equally so the pressure is equally off that top hat. Big shout out to my mate Dave for lending me the spring compressors. For the chance of me I can't find mine, so he lent me his. Cheers mate. Okay, so in the centre you have a small 8mm sized bolt
and then a main bolt that holds it on. Now I hold more grips on one side and stamp on the spanner, which loosens that top bolt off without needing any sort of air ratchet. Now you just need yourself an 8mm spanner to hold that centre section as you undo the bolt. Then you'll see, once that's done, the top hat then comes off. Out with the old spring. We don't need that one anymore. David, can you pass me the new one, please? Thank you. Right, on with your back springs. Back on with the top hat, making sure everything's sitting in the right place and the spring sitting on the bottom, and start doing the top hat back up again. Again, holding it with that 8mm for the centre section and doing up the centre bolt, which I believe was a 19mm. Okay, so it's all back together now, so back into the car it goes.
Now I'll put some weight on, slide it back over and in place. A little bit of weight on, a little bit of jack underneath it. Go. So I'm going to slide the bolt through, not quite yet.
Okay, it's all lined up now, so we're just going to do that one up. Right, now we're going to set the jack underneath just to bring it up a little bit, take some tension off it so we can put that anti-roll bar, the drop link, back on. Obviously holding it at the back with the 19 and then doing it up the front with the 17. Putting all the lines back on, bolting everything back into everything is where it came from.
These three that we undid, I'm going to do these up now quickly. David's just, I'm just going to tighten them up because he's already put them on.
Okay, once these are done up, we just need to put the strut bar back on. Both sides are exactly the same, so we've only shown you one side. Actually, we've shown you a mix of the two sides, but it's the same thing both sides. So now we're just going to put the wheels back on, take the axle stand out, and then it's ready to go for a test drive. And there it is, all complete. Some pictures we took afterwards, sitting really nice. Thanks to David for donating his car so we could make this video. I think he might have got something out of it as well, so it's all good. Well, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications, and we'll see you all again on another Idiot in His Garage.